Sports Talker Nation, welcome back as we finish with our final team in the 2015 NFL Team by Team review. I'm your host, the G-Man, and today we're going to talk about your defending Super Bowl champion, Denver Broncos. So what went right, what went wrong, and what do we look for in the future? What went right? Well, it's easy to see they get a ring at the end of the season. That defense is an absolute beast. It's hard to enjoy watching defense, but they continue the trend of great defense wins championships. I know people think that's bullshit when you look around the NFL and you see all the offense and how it plays and what seems to win games, but that's the regular season. Great defenses have tended to win the last few Super Bowls. Look over with the Seahawks, with the Broncos. Even the Patriots played a great defensive game, even though they weren't a great defensive team. Defense wins, and the Broncos had it in spades. They were fantastic and fun to watch. So what went right? You could run down the line between Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware on the ends and Brandon Marshall in the middle. Their defensive backs with Talib and Roby and Chris Harris. I mean, they didn't have a weak link. They couldn't be run on or thrown on. They had great defensive coordinator help. Their defense was just unbeatable, and they proved it, and it was fantastic. So that went right from a defensive perspective. From an offensive perspective, what went right? Truth be told, not a lot. They had a ton of offensive problems, which leads to the fact that they went to the Super Bowl being all the more impressive because that defense really had to carry them in multiple games. Let's talk about what went wrong, and it's a bittersweet pill to talk about. Peyton Manning is done. He retired 2 years too late, but obviously not because he did get to win another Super Bowl, and I'm really happy for him. He's a hell of a good guy. I prefer Tom Brady. My wife and I constantly go back and forth. She's a Manning guy. I'm a Brady guy. I prefer Brady, but he's an all-timer. He gets that second Super Bowl, although he wasn't huge in either of the Super Bowls. This time he was more of a detriment than anything. He goes down as a top 7 quarterback of all time, maybe into the top 5 now. But he was not good. I mean, he got benched in favor of Brock Osweiler, who started out with a flash and then also kind of receded into the night. So quarterback was not good. Running back was not good. C.J. Anderson, for those of us who play fantasy leagues and drafted him in the top 10 overall, fuck you. He was not good. He had a terrible season. I don't know if he was hurt earlier or if he was just crushed under the expectation. He did not play well. Ronnie Hillman is an injury waiting to happen. He's a part-time back. That didn't go well. Even their wide receivers, their passing game was drastically hurt by Peyton's inability to throw the deep ball. But even when Osweiler came in, Demaryius Thomas, I don't know that I've ever seen a great player go through as bad a stretch as he went through. He dropped countless balls. I mean, I don't know what the numbers say. I think last year they said the most balls dropped by anyone in the league was about 20. I think in the last 3 games, including the playoffs, I saw him drop 25. Terrible, terrible stretch. Don't know what happened. He has all the talent in the world. And again, all this is nitpicking because they did win a Super Bowl. I think he'll be back. I think Emmanuel Sanders did a good job. I think on the other side, he's a good complementary receiver. He gets deep when he has to, although it was not as evident or necessary in this year's Broncos team. But I think he's a good supplemental piece. They still do need to get a tight end. They traded for Vernon Davis. He has since moved on. Tight end would help. Jacob Tommy, I guess, had a couple moments in the sun, but they could really use some consistent help there. So the offense, not a ton went right. Defense, everything went right, which brings us to what happens in the future. With that defense, they're always going to be in the thick of it. Now, I am a noted anti-Mark Sanchez guy. As a guy who lives in Philadelphia, I can tell you everyone wants to talk about how he went to the AFC Championship game with the New York Jets. He is not that guy anymore. He is a mistake waiting to happen. He is Ryan Mallett with a little more experience. He turns the ball over constantly. Right now, he's their starting quarterback. I think John Elway is a superior executive, so I don't think that's going to stand. I think they will wind up getting somebody at least to compete, and I think they're going to wind up in the same spot. I think they have a chance to be, I won't call them a dynasty because it's tough to be a dynasty in today's NFL. You lose too many people. But with that defense, there's no reason to think that they're going to fall below that 10 to 12 win period, and it allows them in this draft, if a quarterback somehow falls to the end of the first round, by all means, great. If you can pick one up, great also. If not, take one later, let him groom a little bit, and they can actually win with Mark Sanchez as a quarterback because they will take the ball out of his hands with that defense. So that's it for me on your 2015 NFL team-by-team review of your Denver Broncos. Look for the upcoming NFL draft preview stuff to start. Guys, this is what I live for. This is my favorite thing in the world is the NFL draft. I've been doing an analysis of it for about the past 12 to 15 years, and that's what inspired us to start this site in the first place. So look forward to it. You're going to love that stuff if you love the NFL draft. And that's it for me, your host, the G-Man, and I am out.